Okay, so here's a book on doing shadow work. Trying to get that glare off of there. All right, the author's name is Robert A. Johnson. The book is called Owning Your Own Shadow, Understanding the Dark Side of the Psyche. And your shadow is your dark side. All right, so I'm not going to give the book away, but I am going to paraphrase a few points that the author hit on in the book. Okay, so your shadow side is your dark side. Dark is not meaning evil. Dark is meaning the side of you that you keep hidden from others. All right. So basically, it's about duality, right? It's about the opposites, the two halves. You got your ego self and the shadow self, right? So society tells us how to dress, how to look, how to think, how to walk, how to talk, how to pray, who to pray to, what's appropriate, what's inappropriate, etc. Right? Okay, so that's our ego self. Now, the shadow self is all those other characteristics and traits that we cast out because they don't fit in with society's narrative of what it's supposed to be. All right. So the dark side of you is just the hidden part, the part of you that you don't really integrate with society. Basically, your ego is how you want to be seen by the world, and your shadow is the motherfucker who you are behind closed doors. All right. So the idea isn't to get rid of the shadow. You're not going to get rid of your shadow. Everyone has a shadow. It's not about getting rid of one or the other because you can't. Your shadow is a part of you. All right. So it's not about being too heavy over here or too heavy over here, but it's about integrating them together. It's about balance. We're trying to balance them. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to find that middle point. That middle point is Christ's energy. That middle point is what they call God, right? Um, so he gives a few techniques about things that we can do, like ways that we can draw from our dark side energy, but do it in a way to where we're not projecting our dark side on someone else. And like to pull energy from the dark side in a way that isn't harmful towards ourselves or to anyone else. Do it in a beneficial way. Um, so with that said, I would give this quick little story. I didn't realize this until I just read this book, and it just gave me a perspective of what I was actually doing. Now that I know, right? So I found myself one day pulling up at the to the cemetery. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, I was stressing this shit, whatever. I don't know. I just had an idea to go out to the cemetery. Another thing he said, anything that's spontaneous, when you do anything out of the ordinary, out of your ordinary day to day life, and you just spontaneously do some shit, that's dark side energy. That's your shadow. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So I just spontaneously just felt like, man, I'm pull out to the cemetery, and I just went out there and I just smoked and I just sat there and I just chilled and shit. And I just probably sat there about 30 minutes or so. But it was the most peaceful feeling ever and shit. And I noticed that when I left, bro, I was energized and I had way more positive energy than I came with. All right. So the concept of that is, after reading this book, what I realized was by going out there, that was a way I was expressing my dark side, right? I was tapping into my dark side by going out there to that cemetery and chilling. I mean, anytime you just out there chilling with all these dead bodies and spirits around and all that shit. I mean, you know, that's dark. You know, that's dark. That's your dark. That's dark side shit. That's your dark energy. Period. So by giving that avenue to express some of my dark side, in return, it gave me energy that I was able to carry out throughout my day. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm feeling better. Now just, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm ready now. Like, you know what I mean? So that's just one way that like you can tap into your dark energy, but doing it in a way that is beneficial to yourself. Because my ego self was stressing and shit before I went out there. And after I did that, then, you know what I'm saying, like I came back in the cheery mood and, you know what I'm saying, I got more energy to operate and shit. In the book, what he said that was, he's just saying you pulled energy. You know what I'm saying? You was running low on energy on this side, so you went over there and pulled energy from your other half and you was able to use it in a productive manner. Um, yeah, I'm gonna wrap up the video. I think you kind of get the concept of what I'm talking about. But this book right here is not too big. I read it in 2 days, just knocked it out. It's definitely worth having on the bookshelf, especially if you're never doing any kind of shadow work and looking for a place to get started. I think this book, it will get you started.